attempting the thing we tried in the last run and failed in our last visit to Iberia, in which I swore we would one day succeed at, which is our female rulers only, no offensive wars started conquest of Spain. Which actually, because one of the really... well, I'm going to get into this and then we'll talk you through some of the extra things that I've discovered in this DLC already that are really, really good. So, why no tea? Well, speaking of tea, let's just all pretend, shall we, that I'm drinking up Lift Me Up Angel, because I was in fact drinking that this afternoon while I was chilling and just doing stuff and everything else. So this is the tea that I was most recently drinking. Remember, this channel is partially brought to you by Bird and Blend, who are lovely, lovely people. And if you buy tea from them, as I used to do before they started sending it to me for free, bonus, what you'll find is they do some lovely teas like Lift Me Up Angel, which is an uplifting blend of yerba mate, Chinese sencha green tea, and a bunch of other cool things. And if you buy it via my tea link, which is in chat now, and use the code TheBrit, not only will they send you your tea, they will send you bonus, extra, different tea that you will not have thought of to try. And they are very good at doing that. I found so many lovely teas that way. And they also give me a bit of money, so, you know, do it. But, honestly, let's get on with some games, shall we? I said yesterday that if you drink morning, kicking, evening, afternoon, evening, it doesn't prevent you going to sleep. No, absolutely doesn't. The only thing that prevents me from going to sleep is Napoleon the cat. Lindsay Duff, thank you very much for the follow. Right, let's get into it, shall we? So we are going to start as Infanta Urraca. Now, one of the vids I'm going to upload, or get Zidan to upload during the week, is just a bit of a guide to starting as Infanta Urraca, because it's an interesting start, and it says hard. It actually isn't, if you know what you're doing, and if you remember that this is a dynasty simulator, not a conquest simulator. So we're going to start as Infanta. We are going to do some stuff with Elvira probably in the future, but we're going to start with Infanta for now. Also, new CK3 Iberian flavoured music, if you've not noticed it. New DLC indeed, Alan1105. New DLC indeed. So, first things first, we are the Infanta Urraca. We do have a sister. Now, sadly, she is still unlanded. I feel like she should get some land at some point, but we are going to invite her to court. Pay for travel expenses I really like as a thing that we can do now. Will we have an Alan in this game? Well, we're doing an all-female run, so I suspect there will be an Alan eventually as a vassal. If we have an idiot son that we give land to, we will obviously call him Alan. Just going to highlight some interesting things that you might notice on this already. Challenge to a board game. You can do cool things with board games. Well, don't dare conquer your country. Portugal would be relevant to conquer in an Iberian DLC, because Portugal itself, let's be honest, is just Spain DLC. But actually we will do a Create Portugal run in the future, I think. But yes, you can now challenge people to board games. One of the things you can do when you challenge people to board games is you can gamble for titles. You can challenge people to board games and get titles. There is a decision for this. But what else will you have noticed? Do you see something lurking in the bottom down in this corner, chat? This is the Iberian struggle. Struggles are the new mechanic in this version of the game, and struggles are actually bloody wonderful. So how struggles work is people and provinces can be involved in struggles, and think of them not as a fight, but as prolonged periods of change and upheaval in a geographic area or a time or a place or all of that kind of stuff. And they go through phases, so they're almost programmed to go through phases depending on decisions and paths and actions people can take. So if you look here at kind of the struggle involvement, you will see that we are involved in the struggle. Now that means we are a character of import because of our family, our dynasty, or the titles we hold, that makes us implicitly tied to the events of this struggle. It's also possible for characters to be kind of peripherally involved just because they happen to be in a geographic area at the time, but certain characters are kind of key and crucial to these things. Phases have effects. So you can see that at the moment we're in the opportunity phase. We're in the beginning of this struggle for the Iberian Peninsula. And that means that fabricating claims in the struggle region costs prestige instead of gold. Wars cost less prestige to fight. We have a border raid casus belli. We have the contract assistance interaction. We have the bargain fealty interaction, and we can hire much cheaper mercenaries. As you can see already, hopefully, the flavour in this is really, really nice. We have culture effects related to this, so learning a new language provides prestige, granting a title to a local noble provides prestige, increasing the development of a county with different culture increases cultural acceptance. So all of these are really cool new mechanics for us to play with within this DLC. So even though it's just a flavour DLC, there's a lot going on with it. Faith effects. So again, you can see all these different effects it has. Now, note that for the purposes of our run here, and again, remember, I like playing these games and seeing how we do interesting, almost meta challenges that we set ourselves. And this run we're talking about here is conquering Spain or creating the Empire of Spain without fighting any offensive wars. Note that last effect under faith effects while we're in the opportunity phase. Interfaith marriages are available between involved characters. So you can really see how much depth this adds to CK3 that wasn't, to a certain extent, wasn't present in many ways at launch, but then they started adding with Northern Lords, and we've seen it with the Royal Court. So it's really coming together to me into being my already, let's be honest, it was already my favourite of the new Paradox titles. Vicky 3 is really going to have to struggle at the moment to dethrone CK3 from that rank. And then other effects. We've got the buy claim interaction against involved rulers, demand payment against involved rulers, which is quite interesting and fun. We can abduct against involved rulers. We can fabricate hooks, claim thrones, befriend, foment revolts, commission epic decisions, and all sorts of other things. So, super amounts of expansion to this mechanic. It really is quite crazy how much this adds. But what happens and how do things move beyond phase? So again, we'll start playing and just see how this naturally plays out in a minute, but I think it's important to kind of just talk you through some of the basics. From opportunity, we can go into one of two phases. We can end up in the hostility phase, which has a whole bunch of different effects, or maybe actually we can help steer this towards a conciliation. And the actions that loads and loads and loads of different people take determine how those paths go. Think of it as a bit like Crusades were, but a bit more kind of advanced and not as fighty. So it's really quite interesting in that way. Now, that means that when you're looking at a struggle, you might want to think about which path you want to do. And you might think based on interactions. And again, I'll let you discover all of this stuff yourself when you're playing the game. And then you also get break a truce with involved rulers. That's going to progress things towards hostility. Usurp a title does hostility. Clicking on conciliatory is going to show us the different things that do towards there. So we can help determine the path that this whole area goes down, but we don't have enough to just solo influence it ourselves. It is going to be determined by how people react around us. So for what is a flavour mod, because it does only cost like sort of €5 on sale or £5 if you're in the UK, there's a hell of a lot in this. And hopefully, as you can kind of see already, the potential for this mechanic in other areas is huge. A question I have is, do these struggles keep going, or do they only start with fresh games? So if you start from an existing save, you're not going to trigger a struggle. So For the benefit of people watching this on YouTube, because yes, I am lazy and I am going to slice this out later. The nice thing about doing this in line with my stream is it means you get some nice questions that I can answer for you here and there, which hopefully don't matter in the comments. So this is a flavour pack, but it is a very good value flavour pack to my mind, and this struggle mechanic is going to be absolutely critical to other things and for modders and for beyond in terms of what you can do with different things. Think of all the different things. Holy Roman Empire. Think of the struggle for the south of Italy. Think of the Byzantine Empire. And think of going back and revisiting how the Norse stuff works and how much more complex and interesting it can be with this. Honestly, it's a ton of fun. So just, it's good value. There are some quirks and bugs so far, but there are always quirks and bugs, and that's fine. But it is a ton of value in this pack. So that's your kind of struggle thing. I don't want to sit here and go through lots of stuff, but if people have got questions in chat about different aspects that they want me to jump in on, if I know the answer already, I will tell you. If not, we can kind of look at it together, or you'll discover it as we go through. And I'll just be honest, I'm not going to tell you if I don't know a thing. I wonder if they're going to redo the Mongol invasion using this mechanic. Really good example, I think. You could trigger it as almost sort of thunder from the east. What happens? How does it work? If you're a modder and you have, say, done a complete game takeover and done the Japanese shogunates, struggles is an incredibly strong mechanic to use for shogunate stuff. Think of also what it adds to the Lord of the Rings mod we were playing the other day. Like, that's our Hobbits incident right there. That's the quest for the ring. And it does mean maybe there is now a way to play as smaller rulers and contribute to what you do and everything else. I've been geeking out over that for a while, and that you can see so many options with how we're going to use it. But for now, we are the Infanta Urraca. We have invited our sister over because we want to get her in. We really want to murder our way to being in charge of all of these territories, because of course they are all our brothers, and if they all die without heirs, we will inherit all that territory. So let's start by focusing on intrigue, and we are going to go pure on skullduggery, I think. We also start with the Chalice of Donna Urraca, which, if we fulfill the requirements, and the requirements are of Christian faith, or has Christian syncretism. Actually, I need to talk to you about some of the interesting things they've done with faith in this, but we'll do in a minute. Gives you a bunch of bonuses, so we are actually going to take that into our hand. What is the new rebellion type that's been added into this game? So you have a new faction type that's been added, and essentially what that faction is it's kind of, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. How do they describe it on the patch notes? Because it's actually pretty good. Let me see if I can find it. If someone DMs me the patch notes, that'd be actually quite handy, because I don't think I've got them open. But what it kind of does is it means you have a sort of dissolve the country mechanic. So it's really useful if actually it's not just about getting independence, it's about saying the state shouldn't exist anymore, which is really handy for if you are doing things like decisions to form Castile. There's some really interesting decisions now to form the Kingdom of Aragon, because it does some cultural differences, which is really quite cool. At some point someone asked me about faiths, because faiths are really interesting in this and how they've done some little tweaks to it. But let's play a bit of game first. But get in about half hour or so, I'm going to have to feed the cat. So when you remind me in half an hour to feed the cat, at that point, if we don't naturally start talking about it before, I will tell you about the differences they've made to faiths, because there are some really cool things lurking in this that I suspect are buried in the patch notes, but most people won't spot. The cat constantly reminds me and suggests it's dinner time, but the cat lies. Right, first things first, we are currently shagging our brother. Let's not shag our brother. This, by the way, is an interesting thing that you can do, because we're in the stage of the struggle, is we can foment revolt, which just means we can pay to start destabilizing his realm. We can challenge him to a board game, and challenging him to a board game potentially can be gambled for titles and things like that. But right now, we are going to just murder him. But before that, let's stop sleeping with him. Brother, it's not you. Well, actually, no, let's be honest, it is you. Let's stop sleeping with you, shall we? So we are no longer sleeping with our brother. This is a good thing. Despite what CK2 would have you believe, we are not sleeping with him. Something I will also flag up while we're on here. Note that you now get a struggle symbol on characters that are also involved in the struggle. So this is critical because it tells you what's going on and it tells you how it's working. And you can actually see down here which way things are drifting. So we're broken up with him. He is going to be our first victim. Oh dear, how sad. Now, hopefully we don't get massively XCOM'd like we did last time we did this. Now the good thing, if you're starting as her, to be aware of is you also start out with Belladudolphus. And Belladudolphus normally has an intrigue somewhere between about 19 and 23. So we're going to stick him in there and we're going to make him help us on plots. Not that fussed about filling other roles yet, because we can rotate this out at some point anyway. But we will put people in there. The other thing to remember is we are 33 and don't have any kids. And so, for the sake of that, I think what's critical to us at the moment is let's get some traits, ideally, into the family, and we need some daughters. So we're going to marry as quickly as possible. I think we're going to go for Nuno, because Nuno is a genius. And we like geniuses. Thought your character knew one of your brothers in a biblical manner at game start. Yes, and we have just broken up with them. So we're not going to spend any money yet. And there we go. Now you get the full overview screen on it. The Iberian struggle. The Iberian Peninsula is in turmoil. A conflict born of its storied past. Outsiders covet the land, and the great Muslim and Christian powers seek to sway its people. But those who live and die on its soil will ultimately determine its fate. I will not let slip my vision for my homeland. By God, House Jimena will weather the storm and see my will fulfilled. Take hold of fate. It's good, isn't it, chat? It's good. Right, we've got Elvira in our court now, which means we can marry her off. Which is useful. But let's see if we need her for alliances before we do anything else. We will absolutely make them pay. We're not going to bother changing any of our contracts because it's not useful to us at this stage. We're not going to petition our liege or pay homage. I might petition our liege. It might actually be useful to us. Do anything useful? No, because we're going to get his capital anyway, ideally, so let's not. Honestly, when they describe this as a flavour pack, which it is, it kind of unplays a lot of the little things they've slid into this in mechanic terms. We have unlocked influential cities, and this is another thing I should probably show you. Look at the little UI changes, they're really nice. Not that one. What am I doing? Mordrith, thank you very much for the follow. So, first thing to talk about, actually, in that regard. This DLC includes new legacies. So if we look here, you'll see that it has the Metropolitan and the Kateri, or Kateri, legacies. Kateri is about increasing your kind of things you can do and interactions within your dynasty. So if you really want to play a kind of dynasty-focused run and do some of the achievements around dynasty stuff, it's really, really useful. So you can see, like, house members will not need a salary when appointed to a court position. They can be fired. You gain 10% of your councillor's skills. House opinion is increased, and you gain more prestige when calling into war. Shared information. So if you know, this one I think is potentially really, really powerful, which is you share secret knowledge. Really, really critical. And pragmatic roots, dynasty members can disinherit their children for a prestige and tyranny cost, which is, again, quite useful. Metropolitan is what our brother has decided to throw us down, and this is quite useful if you're in an area where you really want to push dev and go heavy on cities. So cities are the reflection of their builders' refinement, attracting nobles from all over the world. So you can see that every city increases the monthly development growth of its county by plus 20%. That is insanely powerful. I can't see how they won't actually reduce that in game terms relatively quickly. But for now at least, I think that might be the first time we really have a legit rival to going first onto the Norse path, if you've got access to it, or onto the blood path as a general ruler. Now these are gated in the same way as the Norse stuff is, so they are culturally restricted, but I think you're going to be wanting, whatever run you do, to be maybe thinking about how do you actually marry into something and adopt a culture that allows you to get the metropolitan one, at least for that first one. Maybe not even for the others, but at least for that first one. Republican education means you can get the town maven line of traits, and that is one of the new trait lines, and I'm legit excited about this. You know, I think that's amazing. I love that we're getting new traits into these things. So you've got stewardship and learning that you get boosts on at the same time. Really, really nice. Rather than having a pure focused one, it divides it between two. Dedicated contributors, construction time reductions overall, semi-useful. Prestigious development, gain 150 prestige and potentially attracts guests when completing a building in a city or holding. That, to me, is a potential prestige booster for when we need prestige boosting. It's quite far down the chain, but I could see it potentially being useful. And flourishing cities unlocks the expanding cities decision that allows you to increase the number of buildings available in a city holding. So that's like really, really interesting and cool. Is there a +1, +2 version of Town Maven as well? I don't actually know yet. We will find that out over the course of plays over the next few weeks and months. My gut is it scales equivalently, but I've not had a chance to test it yet. So my gut is, if you look at that as a level 3 rank there, you can see it's stewardship +3 and learning +3. My instinct is that it may scale from +1 to +2 to +3 based on the star level. But we'll see. We'll see as we play, because we will be going stewardship characters within this run, and therefore we'll see it. But that is a kind of quick guide to the new legacies that you will see in this DLC. And again, I know I say this elsewhere, but I legit think the amount that's tucked into this as a flavour mod is pretty impressive, and it does make it worthwhile. We've also got a whole bunch of new clothes, by the way. Look at him in his little Iberian gear now. How cool is that? Right, anyway, back to the murdering our own family. Let's get on with murdering our own family, as one does. Do we want to get experimental poisons by killing off Diego, our knight here? He's not a very good knight. Let's go with we're not quite done yet, shall we? Now remember, we are in the opportunity phase here, which is giving us a bunch of stuff we wouldn't actually normally have. And importantly, one of those things is abduct against involved rulers. Doesn't help us in our kind of abduct other heirs, which is the thing we're going to have to do to do what we need to do, but it does give us abduct on rulers, which is quite nice, and it might well earn us some money. An overheard whisper and a sharp glare are the final pieces that make the puzzle fall into place. My steward Zil is more well versed in the art of intrigue than he would ever have anyone believe. To know there is a man like that at court makes me rather nervous. However, I might learn a lot if I can get him to trust me. Again, let's see if we can actually get through this event now without actually achieving anything. It takes many days, but at long last I coincidentally stumble upon Zil while he is alone. If you walk into a room to find your spouse yelling at a young page for dropping a plate, what would you do? The page would be punished, of course. In the middle of a march to battle, just as you are setting up the camp, an officer approaches you to ask what should be done with a spy that has been caught. I've never got this event right, because it doesn't feel like you can actually predict it. Like, when I've tried to do it based on traits, it's never quite worked. You make a decision, say that all the taxes in the county will be raised, and it comes to your attention that one of your vassals openly questions that decision. The whole court would hear of that vassal's every mistake. Right, my agents have acquired a discreet powder which leaves no trace when dissolved in drink. The servants responsible for refilling and handling King Alfonso's cup have been bribed to look the other way, and all that remains is my approval to smuggle the poison into his next refreshing drink. A toast to King Alfonso's health. Oh dear, how sad, chat, how sad. King Alfonso is dead. Who could have guessed that this would happen? Our beloved brother is dead. And yet we are a murderer, because this game hates us. But he is dead. What we probably want to be doing reasonably quickly, though, as we are a murderer, is modifying our contract to protect us from title revocation. If he will let us. Oh yeah, this is the other thing that they kind of changed, which I really quite like. You must propose an equal exchange in obligations. Current claims and favours. So you get a bit more info on those things now that tells you a bit more. So we will offer him more taxes in return for protecting us from title revocation. Because otherwise he could have us in prison for murder. I mean, let's be honest, he's not going to have long to imprison us for murder, because he has made the mistake of getting married. No way, we actually pulled off the event. His face is lit up by a surprisingly warm smile. You seem to be a woman of sound judgment. He takes in his surroundings before moving down the corridor in silent feet. Please join me. We have much to discuss. We are going to take truth is relative. We want kidnapper, and we want those traits down there. We also really want some kids. Husbo, get shagging. Because if we don't pop out a daughter, this run is over. Oh, that's very nice of you, brother. That's very nice of you. I agree. I am indeed the best candidate to be your spy master. Will this be a no-war run as well? Yes, we are intending a no-offensive wars run. Very nice of you, brother, to make us your spy master. Especially after the terrible, terrible instances of what happened to your other brother. We're having a kid. Yeah, definitely not plotting to kill you. No risk at all. Zero risk at all. Oh dear, it looks like our other brother has died. How sad. It looks like someone plotted to kill him who wasn't us. What a shame that is. Oh no, he just got overthrown because he's an idiot. Sorry, brother, you will still have to die. Now the good thing is, we've now unlocked Republican education. Which Which I think means we're only one off being able to start to see the new trait. Nope, we can now get it. So we should hopefully start to see that pop up. Welcome to chat, the Fox Bride. Yes, indeed. British people. How many more brothers? So we just have the current brother we're attempting to murder. And then one more brother after that. Yeah, that's true. He knows I'm a murderer as well. So basically, I killed my brother. Everyone knows I killed my brother. And then my other brother went, you are definitely the person that I should make my spy master. We're not spending money yet, by the way, because I kind of want to see what titles we get. We have a quick daughter. She is called Uraka, because all our daughters who are going to be rulers are called Uraka. No, our brothers really don't like each other. Do we reckon she's an Uraka, chat, or is she something else? Because she is only quick. She could be an Elvira. Let's name her after our sister. May you grow to be strong and wise, my daughter. Don't need an alliance with him. My agents have scheduled a journey for King Sancho, which will take them through dark woods. All that is missing is the band of thugs that will tragically slay them in a highway robbery gone wrong. Oh, the woods can be such a dangerous place. King Sancho is no more. Oh dear, chat. How sad, chat. How sad. Which means only one brother stands between us and the whole of Castile. The other thing they have changed, by the way, which I quite like, is they've made it harder to unite Spanish thrones. They've added some extra restrictions on this. You need to have reached the high medieval era, which I quite like. Brother! Did you hear the terrible news about our other brothers? Is it not tragic and sad? Some even say that I myself was involved in the murder of one of them, and this is just unfair. She's 15. Sod's law is she will pop out Sprog literally like the month before we kill him. But sometimes babies have to die too. He will have no gold of mine because I'd quite like my daughter not to die. Curses! But luckily we have money. Who wants in? Count Diego really doesn't like you, dude. Who's cheap? Don't be creating claims. Right. So we could attempt to kill our bishop, who really doesn't like us. Yeah, we'll do that one. Don't really care about murder progress. Because we are going to kill him eventually anyway. Well, at least this one was only made me steward and wasn't stupid enough to make me spy master. Because, you know, making me spy master went really, really well for him. Now you can see also that the struggle stuff really does tick up quite slowly. It accelerates over time, but it does tick up quite slowly. It's nice, so you don't have to feel like massively pressured to do things. But we can influence the path it goes down, which is the important thing. What is this war he's actually fighting? don't need to waste money on him. We've got 95 already, and it's not going to give us progress. So the struggle is only present in Iberia right now. I thought it was all over the map. The struggle is regionally locked in this instance. So you can see here your realm capital is in the struggle region. Each struggle is tied to a region on the map. A character's location within this region, as well as their culture and faith, determines whether they're classified as involved, an interloper, or uninvolved. So in this instance, the struggle region is the region of Iberia, which is this region. So that's how they've done it at the moment as a mechanic, is they've bound it to kind of geographic regions, which works quite well. I'm really excited to see what we can do with it, or what modders do with it in terms of the Byzantines. Are there other struggle regions, or can AI start a struggle? So struggles are determined by preset events that will kick in and do stuff. Oh really? I think that's a good idea, dude. I would suggest that that is not in fact a good idea. As in about a month, that's going to go very badly for you. Oh yes, we've got new music. Note the new music. We have Iberian war music. My agents have scheduled a journey for King Garcia, which will take them through dark woods. The woods are doing a lot of heavy lifting on this. Oh dear, how sad! Our brother is dead. Chat, our brother is dead. Who could have predicted it? The thugs did their job, and King Garcia is no more. As the travel party stopped to camp for the evening, bandits poured out from among the trees, calling for blood and gold. Soldiers fought back, but thankfully it was not enough. King Garcia was tragically slain in the melee. Conveniently, most of the bandits were slain in the fighting, and the dead do not speak. No one will ever know of my involvement. Ha! Perhaps commoners are not so useless after all. I think I would say that it sucks to be the guy who declared war on me. And as you can see, he's now disappeared because he is not at war with me anymore. We do need to deal with the uprising that we've got going on, but we can deal with that. We've also inherited all his money, which is nice. Yeah, oh no, not that, that random guy attacked the queen. Oh well, what a shame. Yeah, now he's very nice to me. Right, now we need to actually do some things and stabilize this. Something I will point out first though, and it's a nice little thing, but you will have noticed it again. Notice the return of colours denoting death type. So you can see from blue that he died under suspicious circumstances, which is really, really nice. If you look at his brother, you will see he was murdered. So because we know he was murdered, he gets a red skull. And if you died naturally, you just get a grey skull. But more importantly, we have a bunch of artifacts that we need to do stuff with. So let's firstly put on our flexible Lamar armour. And then let's head over to our royal court. And look at what we've got hanging around in the building. So we have a lot of house banners. And we might as well hang them all at the moment. I have one there. That one. And that one. By the power of Grayskull, indeed. Right. Let's slow this down because we've got a water fight. And we should probably at this point marry off our sister. How the hell have you got married? You were in our court. God damn it, sister. Get over here. This court is indeed posher than our Cornish one. Also, we now need to properly sort out our councillors. So we will keep Belledu because we are going to give him some territory reasonably sharpish. We kept a decent amount of the territory as well, which is good. One of the issues you get when you try and do what I've just done is stuff moves really, like, they give out land too quick, which is annoying. Let's have a look at our powerful vassals because we don't want to rock the boat at this point. So we have Count Diego, excellent hair and jumper, Count Diego. Reasonably certain I bumped into you down Shoreditch. You are terrible at everything. Well done, Count Diego. Well done at being terrible at everything. Count Munio, excellent hair. Really like your armour. It is safe to say that you are going to be our steward. You are legitimately terrible at that. Do I have to make you that? Count Pedro. I mean, let's not. I'll tell you what, Diego. Oh, I really don't want to make you my Chancellor either. You can be my Chancellor. And you can be my Marshal. Oh yeah, he's an excellent steward. He is a very good steward. Now, currently our capital is Zamora. I'm trying to remember what the de jure capital of Kingdom of Castile is. Should tell me, shouldn't it? County of Burgos. Do we still control Burgos? Oh good, he didn't give Burgos away for once. So we control Burgos. Yeah, the murderer trait is not going to be doing us any favours. By the way, one of the new buildings in the game, I do have a video on this that will go up later in the week. The Alcazar of Segovia. Rising like the bow of a ship from a rocky crag, this fortress is an awe-inspiring sight. As majestic as it is impenetrable, it is the greatest of all castles in the kingdom of castles, Castile. Fort level +4, defender advantage +6, and remember it's already in hills. Garrison increase, holding increase, control boost, marshal per fame, and renown. Some other buildings that are in here already. You will notice over here that you have the Farum Brigantium. This is going to give you tax +1, embarkation and naval speed boosts. I'm not convinced that's an amazing building, but I could see us having a lot of fun with that in a Norse run. We could really have a lot of fun with that in a Norse run. Next to that, you will now find, lurking here, the Roman walls of Lugo. Tax +1, fort levels, some minor garrison and boosts. This I like, the learning boosts. So I kind of think that this is even more than it used to be, particularly once you factor in the fact that this has got the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela, which is absolute filth. This is really your must-keep duchy area over here. Really useful. Let's just round up some of the other new buildings so you can see them. Look at the Rock of Gibraltar. Fort level +1, defender boost, some dev growth, stewardship boost is nice. That dip range boost, I think, is when you want to start doing culture merges and things like that, you're going to be good. I think that's going to be really good. I mean, it's a special building. It's got things cut through it. That is a thing. Also, is the dip range to allow England to grab Gibraltar really easy? Well, if you think about it, it works the other way round. So actually what you'd be doing is the other way round. It would be making it so things go around the other way. So it's almost the opposite of making it catchable for England. What it does do is, if you think of the stuff where you want to get dip range to marry into cultures or get interesting cultures, that is a tremendous bit to get for doing that. I will feed the cat in a minute, but let's finish rounding them up as the buildings are here. Lurking over here in Granada, you've now got Alhambra. Fort level boost, defender advantage. Again, it's in mountains, so that's pretty impressive. Mosque was already here, so you already had the Grand Mosque, which is sort of the Muslim version of the cathedral up north. You will now found, and they all look pretty on the map, lurking over here is the city walls of Toledo, which is a fort size boost. Again, holding tax boost, so good to hold on to. Dev growth bonus. If you stack that dev growth bonus with your one from the mercantile boost from the new legacy, that's pretty filth. And I think that's all of them. Oh no, we've got one more over here. You've got Aljaferia. I probably absolutely mangled the pronunciation of that. Which gives you a massive fort boost, defender advantage, holding taxes, and dip boost per level of fame. So there's some quite interesting new buildings there. And obviously all of these are a different style now. They all have their own Iberian style, which is lovely. That reminds me, I was going to talk to you about religions, wasn't I? So there's a couple of interesting things that have been changed in how religion works in what we have now in this DLC. So Catholicism, and this is the most critical one. Catholicism has a pope. But you will notice that if we go over here and look at insular, so we go and look at the insular religion, the insular religion now has exactly the same pope. So different branches of a faith can now share the head of faith of the parent faith that spawned them, if that makes sense. Which is a nice little touch, because it now means that if you spawn your own version of Catholicism, you can take this, which is called rite. And rite means that new faiths keep their old head of faith on creation. And more importantly for Christian faiths, that means they're going to keep ecumenism. And ecumenism is critical because what that means is other Christian faiths that have the ecumenism doctrine are considered astray instead of hostile. That means we can now do some really, really interesting things with Christian religions in this game, because we can spawn sub-religions of Catholicism. We can form our own aposties and have interesting stuff with them and still keep them as only astray, not hostile. And if we're astray, not hostile, that means we can't be crusaded against. So it's a nice little touch, and there's another couple of different minor tweaks that they've made to religions. But if you're playing as a Christian nation, or you just like spawning custom versions of Christianity rather than entirely new faiths, that's a really interesting one to remember, is you can now have shared heads of faith. I mean, I really like it as a nice little touch again. It makes the world feel a bit more joined up. Why would you keep the Pope as the head of faith when you disagree with his teachings? Well, let's take a look at a good example of a religion that does that. So the other thing you find with this is if you look in religious terms at the Iberian Peninsula, you will notice that it's not just Catholic, it is not just Muwaladi. Lurking in the middle here is Mozarabic. And Mozarabic is, or Mozarabism, is an organised Christian faith which has rite, communion, and adaptive, counter-conversion resistance plus, but different faith opinions and everything else. So you have an entirely new faith in this game. It's a new faith in this game, and it's a new branch of Christianity that you can play as and have fun with. And you can see it's got holy sites. You know, they're down here. You've got 3 of those. the same ones, I think Rome and Jerusalem. But there is a whole Mozarabic faith lurking in there. It's not the only new faith in this area. Buried in the patch notes, and I'm the kind of idiot that reads patch notes, you will actually find there is an entirely new dead religion lurking for here. And I'm just going to try and remember if I can work out what it's called again, because I saw it earlier. It's essentially a pagan religion. Annoyingly, I forgot to pick up the patch notes, so I can't remember what it was. So there is lurking in there as well for Iberia. And it's lurking in the patch notes, and you might entirely miss it. And I am the kind of person that reads patch notes, yes. That you will find the lurking faith of Erazarak, which we've now got to find in the list. But it is an entirely new pagan faith based around the Iberia. There it is. This is an entirely new, unreformed Euskal. The ancient native Basque faith has long incorporated other, more transient religions, elements of Celtic paganism, Christianity, Hellenic paganism, and a heavy substrata of their own local myths and beliefs, all swirled together in a syncretic blend. That is a new faith lurking in the game, and it has this new trait, which is tenet, which is a good one to highlight as we kind of finish looking at faiths as well. Chthonic redoubts. Convert faith in county speed in mountain terrain plus 50%. Promote culture speed in same pace 50%. Makes giant a virtue, which is pretty interesting. And it massively increases attrition for people who are not of your faith, but also increases your levy sizes and everything else. It's really quite cool. There is no shelter better than the roots of the earth, no fortress hardier than its jutting spines, no pilgrimage more sacred than its hidden trails. We gaze down at creation from these lofty summits and feel the true weight of the divine. So that kind of wraps up our little look at religion there, I think. But you've got some really, really nice stuff in there, Gal, in this DLC, and it's worth exploring. And I do strongly suspect we'll be attempting a convert to pagan faith run, where we'll be going to convert to Erazarak in the near future. How cool is that, chap? I mean, I genuinely think that a conversion to that is something we're going to need to do. Giant as virtue makes me hope they add making other traits virtuous in Faith Creator. I don't know if they've added that yet. I think the thing is it's linked to a tenet. So if you've got a tenet that would do it, then yes. Then you could have your virtuous dwarves. I can see why it has giant as a virtue if it's based on Basque mythology. Yeah, exactly. It absolutely fits. But I'm liking it because it shows they're not afraid to add new tenets. And new tenets are amazing. Right, I assume we are wanting to win this war because we'd quite like to get this territory off of him, because he's going to be a massive pain in our asses if he keeps hold of Portugal. Like, there's an argument of saying that actually we should keep that for ourselves. Let's give that a commander. And we'll loot these chaps around to join up with them. Basque is fascinating. My gut is what we might want to do is do a Basque run. There are some interesting events around here that you can do. There's this decision to form the Kingdom of Aragon, for example, which has been modified and cool things have been done with it. Hello, Kitty. You alright down there? How is lap training going? With the right bank blanket on my lap, he's now not against half sitting on laps. He likes the idea of laps. It's a bit like when he first started doing duvets. They're a kind of unstable surface, and he's not really sure what he's meant to be doing on them. Right, we have caught him, so that's good. Right. Let's see if we can murder them. What's this war? Leonian border raid of Zamora. Oh, that's the guy who went to war with us before. Dude, are you... I assume you're probably regretting that right now. I mean, you'd like to catch the pigeons. Catch the pigeons. Catch the pigeons. Right, we've caught the Duke of Portugal, so then we can split these armies and just go fight these. Because we are bleeding gold a bit. I'd rather be spending that on investments. The second he gets an opposable thumb, that cat will open his own Twitch channel. Probably not. I'd much rather just leech off of mine. Let's end this war. Thank you very much. We can probably actually keep hold of that if we push him onto managed domain. We have a perk. So we need Kidnapper and we want a job done right. Because we could do with starting to get some of this territory before it starts fracturing a bit. I'd really like to get hold of that. But that might be hard. I do want to give the new Spy Master some territory because he is a very good Spy Master. Also, he suddenly doesn't like us, so we should absolutely give him some territory. What are we going to give him? I suspect we're going to keep hold of... Portugal is not actually that great. It's only 2 provinces, isn't it? I think we can probably give him that. Porto's really nice. Burgos is our capital. So that's the Duchy of Castile. Let's give him Avia. Belledu, we would like to give you Avia. And then we're probably going to sway you. Nice hat, by the way. Nice hat. Right. Annoyingly, I don't think we're going to get to revoke Leon as part of this because it's border war. What we should actually do is, as well, while I can, is this is a good opportunity to show you what happens in a border raid war. So if I surrendered, he gains gold in proportion to the development of the target county. So he would gain 40, I would lose 1 development, and I'd lose some control. So it's not the end of the world, but it's not great. The opposite thing, because we're going to win this, is that he has to pay gold as reparations for the raid. So he loses some prestige and he pays us some gold. It's nice to have a bit more variety in the war goals. And I suspect we might as well split that and send half the army to just go and murder him. And while we're doing that, we've still got the Duke in prison, haven't we? Or the former Duke, I should say. Who can pay us some money and leave. You can pay us some money and leave as well. He wants us to go and have a feast. Why not? And you can see it gave us a little bit of a pop-up there to warn us that we'd kind of done something. We'd triggered a struggle catalyst, which was ransoming an involved ruler. Yes, feasts are back. Our vassals will ask us to go to feasts again. After a period where they had definitely engaged in a bit too much fasting. My courtier Esenada, my sister-in-law, has given birth to a baby. Yeah, sure, Sancho, fine. The borders of faith. My vassal, Count Diego of the Moustache, approaches me in private with clear doubt in his eyes. He explains to me that his faith is faltering due to his time spent guarding the border against Mohammedanism and fraternizing with the enemy. His words are not in jest. It feels as if the slightest mistake could push him away from God. Yet, this is the opportunity to strengthen our further as well as our relationship. So we can gain a weak hook on him and a bit of dread. We can try and reignite his further ourselves. And actually, we got a decent chance of doing that. And we can try and get our Archbishop sorted, but our Archbishop is a bit rubbish. We will try and reignite his further ourselves. And we managed it. And we took that dude prisoner. Court events. The Munificence of Yahya. In the past few days, neighbouring Emir Yahya has been visiting my court on his way to some holy site or something. Since his arrival, he has been outshining me with his generosity towards my own courtiers, who have all been lapping up his gold with no dignity. Free gold, you say? Let's get some gold. Right, we need to think about some buildings now. You're right up there. Yeah, okay. You're just snoozing up there. Having a snooze on the windowsill. You right? What's up? No? Okay. Right. And Porto is really nice. I kind of feel like we do want to keep it. Oh, he was already awake and looking at me. He's now sulking in the hallway. What he really wants is bed snuggles. He's not had his evening bed snuggles because I was playing this. So he's basically just being very passive aggressive about it. He was doing very big sighs. Right, Burgos is the historic capital, so we probably want to be boosting buildings in Burgos. Try saying that 5 times fast. Santiago is what we want. I suspect Galicia, Porto, and Castile is probably our keeper provinces. Yeah, I mean that's basically what he's doing, is he keeps sticking his head out from the bedroom door now and looking at me going, Snuggles? Snuggles, please? Right, well the good news is a lot of the area around here is already started to semi-built for troops. So let's focus Porto on income, because it is plains. And Burgos is going to go full troops. Which means that Castile is going full troops. Almeida we will probably give away, so I'm not that fussed. So we still got 200. We're probably running some bad man-at-arms choices at the moment. Yeah, we are. 400 of them we'll keep. We're going to get rid of the Caballeros. And we will get ourselves... We could do with looking for cultures that have got good men-at-arms. But for now, there's no harm in having some light horsemen. Light footmen, rather. I suppose he hasn't realised Snuggles don't need the bed yet. No, he's not. He has not. So, Porto is building. How old is our daughter? She's 1. How old are we? 36. We still might have more kids. Oh, we need to kill our sister's husband. How are you so resistant to death? That's outrageous. Ramiro, you get to live for a little bit longer. We won't hold court yet because we need some money before we do that. But we do have reasonable stuff. Oh yeah, you can. Your physicians can now train up, which is really useful. They can get better over time. Which makes sense when you think about it. Guina moves to our court. Guina, hello. We probably want to think about what we're looking at. So we are on limited crown authority, which is good. So we are in a relatively good place. How's the struggle going? So there's a few events, it's kind of neck and neck between conciliation and everything else. I kind of feel like conciliation is probably where we want to go. Walking the castle halls, I come to notice that all my knights are in low spirits. The presence of Count Rodrigo El Cid Campeador of Leon inspires the common soldier to achieve great feats, but it causes the noble knight to wither in his radiance. As a talented commander and a warrior worthy of fables, there is no question about the value Rodrigo El Cid Campeador brings to my ranks. But if the strength of one man causes weakness in others, can I really allow myself to keep such an influence among my knights? I think he continues to serve us. But we're not having gloomy warriors. I trust my vassal and he will stay. He wants a seat on our council. Fuck me, he's getting a seat on our council. Dude, you are absolutely getting a seat on our council. It's El Cid. The holy city of Santiago de Compostela is a magnet for the faithful, drawing pilgrims from lands local and distant. The route to it is accordingly well travelled, wending its way to the site from the foothills of the Pyrenees. Of course, where rich people rich enough to travel to the holy site exist, so too do those looking to make a profit. I mean, we'd make that back relatively quickly. That's annoying, but I think we do it. Right, we should have a look at some of these things. We need to get some actions going. So let's boost TUI. Now, I think we would go Catholic. So we do need to gradually convert this territory. In terms of cultures, we are currently Castilian. And the question is, do we want to stay Castilian? Now, to unite the Kingdom of Spain, the Castilian culture has the Iberian cultural pillar. We need something that's got the Iberian pillar. So we don't have to necessarily be Castilian, we just have to be of the Iberian pillar. So culturally, Castilian at the moment gives us chivalry, gives us tabletop warriors, which means we can always challenge other characters to board games, and we may wager a personally held county in board games if both players have this rule. So we could play board games for stuff. And we have ritualized friendship, which is another new one that they've put in, which automatically has access to the befriend scheme, may ask friends to become best friends. Besties receive strong hooks on each other that gain stress when using them. Best friends can use an interaction to gain bonus skills via modifiers at the expense of extra stress. So the question becomes whether that's useful to us or we want to flip to one of the other ones. Galician gives us Highland warriors. What I'm really looking for at the moment is custom units. Visigothic codes. Can enact the equal gender law. Yeah, you're right. Snakunu. Basque culture. For the equal gender law. Or we can go Aragonese. Which does give us state ransoming, which is another one of the new ones and is quite nice. Knights in battle die less but are captured more. Characters with liege of this culture are more likely to be captured in sieges and can demand higher ransoms for lower rank rulers. And we've already got 55% acceptance on that. Also, if we're Aragonese, we can go for the forming the Kingdom of Aragon. And we can also go Catalan. I feel like we should save Aragonese for a proper Aragonese run. Oh, malleable subjects is another one of the new ones, which is quite interesting. Vassals of this culture do not consider differing faith or culture when joining factions, which is potentially very useful to us in terms of plotting to get stuff on. So just give some tweaks around stuff. The other thing to note on the Andalusian one is look at the mercenary hire cost. And they have no negative opinion of other cultures. Andalusian is going to be really quite powerful now. You love that at least 2 other run ideas have come up already. Yeah, that's the beauty of this, I think, is it's really just opened up. It opens up so many interesting things we could do. But I love the idea of us doing an El Cid run. So we could go El Cid, but back to paganism. So the goal would be to start as El Cid and go truly back to being the pagan religion of Iberia. Right, we need to get out of debt. Trade would be nice. Trade is always nice. We will demand payment off of that just because it gets us down in our gold level. Elsid starts now landed. I'm not 100% certain if he starts landed or if he gets a decision that lands him. So I think it's entirely possible that... Actually, let's check. Let's check. Only takes a second for us to check. Because it's entirely possible that one of our brothers landed him before we murdered them. These are our other rulers, by the way. This is the one you want to go for if you want to do an early era Portugal run. Quite fun. And we will do a stream of that at some point. So let's have a look. And welcome to the stream, Scarge. But let's have a look. Let's see if he starts landed or not. I don't think he did. I think our brother gave him... I think our brother probably made him Marshal and then gave him a title. Because if you look... Yeah, see that starts as King Alfonso's territory. And because we murdered them all to consolidate this territory, I suspect that... Because he was over his realm limit, he gave El Cid land. So you probably find that happens a bit more. So it's not that El Cid started landed, but he did start... yeah, one of the other brothers. So he didn't... I don't think he started landed, but I do think he got given territory relatively early. So our grandeur is gradually creeping up. Which is good. Some struggle catalysts being triggered. We've just built some more tents, so... I do wish he was easier to kill. It's very annoying. My daughter and heir Elvira is an unusually calm child. When the others play their wild games, Elvira often withdraws to some silent corner. She does not speak a lot, but I can tell she was thinking about something. There's a mod where you can change to another ruler of your choice mid-game. I think you can basically do that within the base game, as long as you haven't got Iron Man on. Right, she is pensive, which means we probably are going to push her on stewardship. Because she's not going to be great at intrigue. We're going to need to try and get her some intrigue traits, but... She does need to hold a fair bit of territory, so let's go with that. We need to start thinking about her education. So I suspect we're going to get our King Nuno to educate her, because she's going to have Visigothic codes, and it means she could turn round and instantly do that stuff and then potentially convert. Does Count Belladou like us yet? Just about. Let's continue to sort out territory. He's on domestic affairs, which is good. He's increasing Dev and Burgos, which is where we want him to be right now. Let's take Kidnapper. Right, now we're cooking with gas. So we need to think about our kidnap targets, because remember, we're not going to fight any wars. Oh! Well. Interesting. Your heir is that guy. His heir is that chap. There's a lisp, which is an inheritable trait, and that's unfortunate. Your child is not the worst. The Umayyads blew up again. The Umayyads always blow up. The Almoravids are doing alright though. So that's a duchy level rank. So if this kid inherits that territory after he's been given territory in my own area, and he's a duke already, his title will join mine, because that's duchy level. The new DLC drop? Yes, the new the DLC has dropped. We've been enjoying it immensely. We have the struggle mechanic. We have everything going on. That to me is an obvious target, because that is a lot of provinces we can drag in. How kidnappable are you? Not very. Right, we're going to have to hold off on kidnap schemes until we get a bit better at kidnapping. You two can marry. I have no idea who you are, but yeah, you go have fun. Enjoy your marriage. Oh man, did we not get the challenge board game? I was waiting for that. He withdrew his challenge. I was going to show you board games. Right, we're back into positives, so we should be thinking about buildings again. Full rack. Actually, that's a good point. What are we focused on at the moment? Can we get focused on bailiffs, please? That's going to give us more of an advantage. That's part of the fun, is being there's no harm in being bad at CK3. Don't forget though, if you do ! CK3 guide, I have a whole series of just sort of little 5 to 10 minute videos that will talk you through all of the key things you need to just be mildly competent at CK3. So it's not about teaching you all of the complex mechanics. It's just about getting you to a point where you kind of feel like you understand everything. Oh, good. I'm glad you're finding they're useful. Well, look, let me know. If there's things you want covered that they don't cover, let me know, because I will always add to them. And I know this sounds silly, chat, but if you do find them useful, please do spread the word, whether it's on forums or on Twitter or anywhere. Do spread the word, because I was very, very lucky with this in that, because Paradox are a nice company and they kind of like, you know, what I'm doing as well. They gave me early access to this, which is very useful for where I've been explaining you to how to play this now and do all of that kind of stuff. But the only reason they're going to keep giving me access to do things is if they know that you yourselves as players find these things useful. Because understandably they are a company and they do not want to give away things for free. But the best way for me to be able to make sure you have prompt videos or this stream where we can talk through all the advanced concepts in a new DLC is if I'm playing it early. So I just need to know how to plan for learn how to plan for my new play area better. There's always a sibling war. Yeah, that's why God invented dungeons. That's why God invented dungeons. Right. What are we doing? Here we go, board game challenge. Here you go. So, To the implacable like, this is one of the fun things with the new DLC, is you now have the ability to do board games. And board games can be fought for titles or they can be fought for fun. And fighting for titles is a thing that is unlocked based on your culture. So if you are tabletop warriors, you can wager a personally held county in board games. And I believe there's actually a challenge for winning a title that way. So just be aware that that is there. But yeah, so here we go. We have a board game. A game of chess will begin immediately. It's basically an opinion boost. There's stress loss if we lose. So absolutely, why not? Wadi Hadia Hill is already waiting to begin our little chess match, sat waiting with a competitive grimace writ large across his face. We're neck and neck, though neither of us is even close to victory. You know, muses my opponent, I may not be much of a talker, but I am alarmingly good at chess. So we can try for a martial challenge, we can try it for an intrigue challenge, or we can try for an unparalleled learning challenge. It is actually a game of chess. It would be quite fun if this was actually just like you popped open a mini chess game in the middle. We're going to go with intrigue, because I suspect we are we're a little bit better than intrigue. It's not as bad as I thought, but we are better than intrigue, so you will never see our moves coming. Our match marches on, Hadia Hill continuing with an obvious trap. We're neck and neck, though neither of us is even close to victory. Honestly, waxes my opponent, I'm impressed you're playing as well as you are, considering who you're up against. I don't think we're any better at him than those things, so we are actually just going to go with Innocent Whisper. He's going with Feints and Ploys. We'll keep it up. I'd like to see a bit of variety in this, that's my only thing. With a roar of triumph, I surge to my feet, scattering pieces everywhere. This game of chess is mine. Another fine victory on my indisputable rise towards the role of King of Games. The desolate Hadia Hill remains seated. We will grow closer to losing a rivalry. "65% our opponent makes an obscene gesture and leaves." How does it feel, little man? Yeah, honestly, watch my video on... I think I did it as a bonus video on the CK3 Guides one, but watch my video on managing your inheritance. There's a whole bunch of different tools available to you. But going celibate relatively early, or having the ability to go celibate, is very, very useful. Sancho de Leon is no longer our cupbearer. Right, how are we doing here? Let's continue to build buildings in territory we're going to keep. So, Valladolid we're probably keeping. There's some hunting grounds. What are we drinking tea-wise? Well, we're actually on red wine, but earlier we were drinking the one and only, drum roll please, Lift Me Up Angel, which is absolutely lovely. It's a very nice afternoon uplifting blend. That's why I was drinking it in the afternoon, and I highly recommend it. And yeah, !T, buy from Bird and Blend, and you will get free tea sent to you if you use my code, because Bird and Blend love us, and that's nice. All looks like the Mossarabs are spreading. They're over in Slavonia now. If you only get sons, is it game over? You're going to execute family members until you dig your way to a woman. That's the question. We've done it before and we'll do it again. I suspect we would look to see if we can in some way manufacture our way to getting to a female heir. But if we can't, it is run over. It actually happened to us when we tried this run a while back. We came incredibly close to pulling it off, and then at the very last hurdle died too early without a male heir, or without a female heir. Slavonia is not in Iberia. They are over in Croatia right now. Yeah, I'll come to your feast. Get a weak hook, because weak hooks can be cashed in when we've got the ability to do so. So to a certain extent we're in a bit of a holding pattern with this ruler now. What we're kind of just trying to do is make sure we leave a nice secure kingdom for our heir. Segovia we will be keeping hold of. The bonus building in Segovia gives a holding taxes bonus. So this is one of the places it is worth us building, say, hill farms. I'll go hunting grounds. We'll probably go hunting grounds rather than barracks. I'll go hill farms. As you can see, chat, feasts are most definitely back. The Moz Arabs have mozzed their way over to Croatia. And they are now lurking over here. You'll note that Christiani does not have the shared head of faiths, which is just worth noticing. So Mozarabic has Pope Alexander, does have the right thing, which gives it. Insula has the same, but Christiani does not. There's a snake in my court. Trouser snake. There's a trouser snake in my court. Yeah, fine, have it back. So as things stand, conciliation is looking more likely than hostility. Which I suspect is better for us. Let's have a look and just see if there's any massive benefits to us on either of these in terms of how we want to play and what we want to do. So war isn't going to help us because we're not allowed to fight wars. Hybridizing cultures is easier. Personal scheme boosts. Fascination progress is a nice boost. Unlocks the sponsor Jewish Sciences decision and the build Pilgrim Roads decision, which sound cool. Holy Wars cannot be declared in the struggle region. That might actually be incredibly useful for us. Longer truces for wars, not a problem for us. Convert faith in county is disabled for characters with involved faiths. But the interfaith marriages are available would be really useful. Do we get under hostile as well? I don't think we do. Let's check. No, we can do interfaith marriages under that as well. But I think we want to be pushing for conciliation. Purchasing truces is a nice touch. Cannot execute involved prisoners. Could be a problem for us. I think we do kind of want that to happen though. So actually we probably want to be doing released involved rulers from prison without any request. Grant one of your counties to a local ruler of involved culture. Grant better contract or title to a vassal from a different faith or character. Learn the language of an involved ruler. We could do a language learning. City holding buildings would be good. Truces would be good. Truces aren't a bad idea, actually. Would you like a truce? Once we're back from this feast, let's see how much it would cost us to purchase a truce. $170 gold. He'd go for a small sum of 85. Should give us a 10-year truce. We'll do that. That is very much in our interest to do. Yeah, so the purchase truces thing comes two ways. So you can either get it via the struggle event. So, as you can see here, because we're in the opportunity phase and the other phases, we can purchase truces around here. The other way you can get it is, I believe, it's under defensive measures. Someone remind me where defensive measures is. I think it is a thing you can unlock on here as well. By the way, if you want to challenge people to board games and you haven't got it as a cultural thing, you want Befriend. Because Befriend allows you to challenge people to board games. As I say, there's lots of really nice stuff just buried a little bit beneath the surface in this. I know I'm only touching on it. There's some changes they've made, for example, to the way Heisteen works. So, bad news for everyone who used to like making Heisteen live to about 110. He now already starts with a bunch of the life boost perks unlocked and receiving the benefits from them with his lifetime boosted down accordingly. So you're probably only going to get Heisteen living to about 80, 85 now, not be able to boost him well over 100 like you used to. So just be aware of that if you're doing a Heisteen start. Peasant rabble, we can deal with peasant rabble, it's not a problem. I don't think it is defensive measures. Defensive negotiations. I'm sure there's another way to unlock it. And I can't remember what it was. I'm sure I saw another way I could unlock it. I wonder if it's a legacy. I don't think it is. I managed to get Heisteen to 111 once. I think that's the oldest I ever managed to get him. Which is quite fun to do. So we do want to be improving city holdings, don't we? Because that actually boosts our stuff. So we probably do want to build some hill farms. If we're trying to push it down conciliatory, that's the route we want to go. My steward Count Munio enters the room with grave demeanour. My lady, our coffers are almost empty. It's dangerous in these times. We'll gain the nickname the Crownless. We gain 300 ducats. Or we can just gain some stress, or we can gain 90 and pawn our husband's crown. I mean, with the exception of the prestige hit, which we're not really going to suffer from, that's not the end of the world for us. I'll do what I must. We are Urraca the Crownless of Castile. Oh, by the way, barbershops. You have a new thing in a barbershop. If I get the right link. Face items. Spectacles. Eye patch. Blindfold. Face mask. And head bandages. Eye patches are cool. But be aware you have another option there. Yeah, see, I feel like she wouldn't give a shit. If we're role-playing it out, she'd be like, I don't care, just give me the gold. The selling of the spouse's crown makes you laugh. Yeah, it is quite impressive. Right, so we're building stuff in cities to help boost the way this goes, but we do also want to build stuff in Porto. So let's get some trade ports down. Burgos is our capital. That's a bishopric. City Holding is already building something. Valladolid. We can build some stuff there. How are our council doing? Faith has finished. Get working on your conversion. Get Coimbra converted for us. Increase control. Let's start up here and then we'll build it back. Oh, rip our excellent steward. Count Fernan, take the reins. Oh shit, we're not guardianing our daughter. Right, we want to get our husband to guardian her. Because remember, she is going to get better boosts off of him than she is off of us. She might get shy though, which is annoying. And forgiving, ugh. Maybe we want to guardian her. Is there anyone else we could get who's got good traits to guardian her? So the problem is we want her Aragonese. Ideally. Are there any geniuses inside range who have good traits who we want to teach our daughter? Hello. Norwegian would be quite handy. How do I get you to court? I need you in my court. That opinion of us is the damaging bit. I would give the arm of St. George. Who needs St. George? Oh, have the flexible lamellar armor. We can gift him next month. No, it's not his liege's opinion. It's his opinion because he will join us. He's on -40. I mean, we could just YOLO it. Oh, I see, the marriage was the liege's option. Yeah, that's true. Never. Peasant's lot is to serve their lord. We should probably pin the guy that is warding our daughter. Our one and only daughter and heir. If we get our lodging standards up, that would help. Yeah, so that's Duke Can Chromatic's opinion of us, you're right. H for Havoc, thank you very much for the follow. You're Catholic. Would you like the arm of St. George? Seems a bit of a waste. We are swaying him, so over time we should be able to get him over. We're just slightly gambling that our daughter won't die in a crazy accident before then, which would be somewhat problematic. Let's go deal with these peasants. We do need to remember that whenever our armies are raised, we lose money. Right, you're a commoner and you're not involved, so you can stay in prison. Still reasonably close. But I think we can keep boosting that. Wasn't there a bug where the kid would stay at the foreign court? Yes, there was. I did a little tips video on how to get around that bug. But the good news is, I think they claim that they have fixed that bug and that you can now invite kids to your court. So the bug is not a bug anymore. They claim, anyway. There's a fucking fly in my wine. Outrageous behaviour. El Cid is El Cidding. Increase control in Zamora, please. How's Dev looking in Burgos at the moment? Yeah, 13. You're getting there. Slowly but surely. Oh, that's true. We should check whether they've managed to fix the thing they broke again with the double points. We should absolutely check that. Right. Buildings, buildings, buildings. You're fully built out. You are not. Some quarries. Minus 20, getting there. We increase our lodging standards. Oh, we've got a court event anyway, let's see what that is. No, you're not. doing trepanation on me? Right, I think we go up to middling lodgings. That's going to reduce guest recruitment costs, which is actually quite handy for us. Though we are running last century fashion, let's not do that. Let's do that. It's going to cost us a bit, but we are economically curving up. So I think that is worthwhile. Hey, buddy. Oh, he's on 0. We're getting another opinion boost out of him. That should be enough. Should be enough if we can get another opinion boost. Just noticed a new achievement for conquering the other Caucasian Iberia cultures. There are some cool new achievements indeed. We have a Viking raider. He's Norse. And a Sartre. No, we've got to stay Catholic. We've got to stay Catholic on this run. If this wasn't a Catholic first look at the DLC run, we'd 100% go with Sartre and Norse right now. And go full Viking warrior queen. But you can absolutely stay. Give me more faith conversions. Come on, get some boosts. You're an experienced fighter? Prowess and 19, it's not bad. I'm not paying that much for you though. The priority is still more building stuff. Key thing is getting our troop numbers up so no one screws with us. There we go. Welcome to court, my Catholic Norwegian friend. That's why we need to make sure that our heir has got the money to recruit Varangians. Because we can get ourselves some Varangians. Don't really need the stress lost. We need to be careful about our weight. Don't really need to sway him anymore. Let's abandon that. I wonder if he'd be any good at any court rolls. Probably not. Oh, we should be getting a tutor. Oh no, he would be an excellent tutor, so get in there. Because that will improve the education outcome as well. Right. It is time to think about kidnap plots. So as a reminder, hang on. No, he's the king, that's the problem. They're still childless. Might be useful to get some genius kids out of him somehow. That's not a bad idea, because it would maybe set some up into for our future. Would you like to marry her? Thank you very much for your gift. It's very kind of you, Count. Right, what are we building? No, let's stash cash. Let's stash cash for a bit. And we're looking for things we can choose the inheritance of. He's got titles already. Son doesn't. Let's give it a go. I think there's no harm in trying. We might get lucky. We might pull this off. %70 chance he gains messenger pigeon. By the way, clans are now slightly more interesting. You can now do some differences in clan contracts, finally, which makes them slightly less annoying. And is worth being aware of. Conciliation is edging it out at the moment, which we can keep help nudging in the right direction. Do we have anyone in prison that we could release who's involved in the struggle? No, just the commoner. We need to remember that releasing people for free will help us. She is now Norwegian. Excellent. Oh, the knights were established and then he died. My husband want persist. What are you looking at? Go away. You're not getting my titles. But here. Okay, we can build there. Go farms and fields maybe. Greater Armada. My steward Fernan informs me that his chroniclers has returned from navigating and studying the naval technologies across the seas. He says that with funding we could have a new ship design that would outperform our neighbours and usher in an era of maritime supremacy for Castile. On the other hand, my Marshal Rodrigo would much rather spend that gold on things other than trade vessels. So we can get master ship builders for 60 years. For 20 years, and there's a 40% chance they gain it for longer. We are going to go into debt for a while on this. Let's go for it. We'll be out of debt soon enough. The renowned inventor Diego has sought me out with a very odd petition carrying a pair of wings made from wood and silk. Lend me those wings, I want to fly. There's 25% chance I gain Soar the World from Above for 30 years. A 50% chance I gain the nickname The Flying. Or there's a 75% chance I gain the trait Wounded and gain the nickname The Flightless. And it's because Elvira, my daughter, is like really wants to see him take flight. There you go for it. Let the old man fly. We got him. We got him. Right. Phase 1 plan. Demand conversion, gain work, weak hook, take the vows. Any useful units? No, don't think so. Amaya will be yours. Fuck, what was his name? We've got to find him again now. I always need to remember to pin those characters before we do that. Where you at, dude? Welcome to my court. Gain intrigue, potentially a hook. Give it a go. Right, how are we looking on our council actions? Some control increases we could do in Santiago. To the Serene Queen Urraca of Castile. Alongside this letter you will find the severed head of one of the thieves that has been running amok in both our realms. I have taken the liberty of executing him and informing your garrison in Zamora of the location in which his accomplices lie. That's very nice of you, Lahia. That's very nice of you indeed. Don't need the feast boost, so we're not going to do that. So for new viewers, the thing that we're looking to do here is if we give him a ducal rank, he will be of sufficient rank under our kingdom title that when he inherits an equivalent duchy rank, if we can get high authority, which we should be able to do, because remember our daughter is going to be able to just bring it in. Because we will culture flip. Oh, we're not though, is she? Ah. We need to flip to Basque. Do we control any Basque territory? We do. No, we don't. Navarra does. No, we do there. We need Vizcaya. And we have a reason to revoke. Rally the troops. It's fine with me. Means we get slightly less shit, councillor. Why do we need to be Basque? Because to ensure that that title does not inherit out of our side of our kingdom, we need to pass High Crown Authority. The two ways to pass High Crown Authority are for us to get Royal Prerogative, which we're not going to get because it takes a bloody long time to get, or if we're Basque culture, we can pass High Crown Authority. So we are going to win this war. Relatively quickly, hopefully. I feel like we might want to move off of this now because there's not much more we want to do in intrigue terms. I'm kind of almost thinking we might want to go medicine focus. No, maybe we do stay on it until we finish it. We just have to be wary because we're not going to know when we're going to die, and we do want to try and get the dip stuff. We do have a Liberty faction to worry about. El Cid! How very dare you? Right, chat, remind me. Oh, she's 13. mean, we could marry her off and then murder El Cid's kid. If El Cid drops out of that, that whole thing goes. And I'd rather... If we have to fight El Cid, we're fucked. It gets us out of the faction problem. The issue is it's a patrilineal marriage. We kind of have to stop with the wars after this. We've got maximum from battles, so we just need... we can demand payment, that's going to help. Should have flicked that to that because we're not plotting against anyone actively at the moment. Right, war is won. That means in prison we have you, whose title we want. And then we can actually ransom you because you're no longer part of the struggle. But these people are part of the struggle. So I think it's worth us just releasing them, because I think releasing them is going to... That's a conciliation event. And it's a big one. And we need him to stay as a count anyway. So we've given it conciliation a bit of a lead now, which is good. Those are really good events for pushing that down that path. Right, we can now move our capital to Vizcaya, and our capital is therefore going to be Basque. Yeah, conciliation is much better for us because we're not going to start wars. I can now convert to local culture. I am now Basque. That should mean... Hang on, come on, look. Can enact the higher partition succession law. Oh no, I'm thinking... I'm in the wrong place. We need it anyway because we need the equal succession. I am not going to play chess with you right now. Now these are the people we need to get a hold of. Hey, look, give me a break. I've been playing Stellaris a lot. Astute Diplomats is quite nice. The right to prove is pretty cool. I mean, the thing is, if we get enough faith, because we can do that shared head of faith, we could diverge for female first. No, we don't want it. Right, we need to start swaying some people here. We also, frankly, need to break off this relationship, which is going to piss El Cid off, but we don't really have a choice. Like, we can get him back into the positive pretty damn easy. You... We'll start swaying. Let's start working on this. So we're reasonably stable, I think. We need to... Oh, we have to break off with El Cid. Just gonna fuck off El Cid. Probably kick that faction back into being, but... we'll see. I think we should be able to beat it as long as we're not in another war. We could fabricate hooks on them. So I think if we've got a hook, that'll do it as well. I think a hook will do it. We want Count Vasco to be our friend. What did you miss? We are currently trying to get everyone on side so that we can change our gender laws. This is a nice thing. You can now see what they're going to do. So she is now part of our court, which probably means she'd be a really good antiquarian if we haven't got one already. Tello, don't really care about you. you're not a struggle character. You're not struggle. You're not struggle, so we'll release you. And that means we can afford to sponsor her. I think the ruling of a realm interests him. He's avaricious and thrifty. Ah, we lost progress. Oh well. Court event. Oh, go away. Right, we're doing a decent job of pushing conciliation in front at the moment. Oh, she's trying to get it on with me. Right, well, I don't want a lower quality artifact, so if we have to be felt up a bit, we'll deal with it. I definitely want to build up a bit of a treasury. Can you improve in Karuna? Can you improve there? I don't know why a priest doesn't like us. It's not like we murdered our family or anything. That's useful. So we're now down to 2 that we need to get on the side. Now one of those we're swaying, I think. Yeah, so Count Pedro we're swaying. Count Fernan I suspect we can bribe. Oh, not quite. Gets him close. Can we put him on the council? He's already on the council. Ugh. How old are we? We're doing okay. We're 50. So we do need to start thinking about keeping some money available. Can we give him a job? Count Fernie, where are you? Just need Pedro now. If we can get Pedro, we can change our gender laws and then move our capital back. Well, if you ever wanted to see El Cid naked, now you have. El Cid is buff. Right, to be fair, a strong hook would work on him as well. We can't scheme for the hook on him and try and improve his opinion at the same time. We will take that money off you though. A magnificent ornamental coffret. Piety, renown and court grandeur boost. Why not indeed? Court spies would be nice. Let's get that on display. In fact, we've got a couple of things we could have on display here. The Arm of St. George and the ornamental coffret. Prepared for anything. Elvira is almost of age now. Really shouldn't be visiting other people's courts. But fair enough, she's off on one of those events. Count Vasco died. Fuck, that's annoying. Give me a hook. This is the problem with trying to change succession. You've got to kind of spend half your life trying to make sure that you get enough people in the right place at the right time. The fact that we are Basque isn't helping, but we need to be Basque to do this, so... how are we looking on council stuff? Increase control. She is a fortune builder. Yeah, that'll do. Could be worse. She got arbitrary, generous, and temperate. That could be a lot worse. Is there anything I can give you? Can I make you anything? YOLO. Well, we got some opinion off him. We can get a dynasty legacy. So we could go for dedicated contributors and still move down this. I think actually we are better now going noble veins. That's true, he is not on our council. Who can we kick off our council? I mean, he's pretty terrible at everything. Do we need Count Gonzalo liking us? Right, we don't need Count Gonzalo. So Count Pedro, you're in. Which effectively means we need Count Bermudu here. That'll give us 20, but I think if we can get the hook on him, that should be enough. I think we only need the hook. Meanwhile, conciliation is trucking on nicely. A wounded and disillusioned mercenary group has arrived at the county of Porto. The locals claim to have either settling down after pillaging an easy target and has begun to grow anxious. Tensions are high and conflict is likely to arise if I don't intervene. There's a 100% chance if we try and force them out of the city, the local garrison gets wiped out. We'll offer them a position. We can afford it. Hello, Kitty. Yeah, I'll come and give you some snuggles in a minute. We're just trying to change our succession laws first, Kitty. Once we've changed our succession laws, we'll do something about it. We will then go to snuggle time. I think that should do it. Oh, come on, we got a strong hook. Strong hooks should allow you to get council support. I mean, we can give him a council permission. The annoying thing is, I suppose we have to do it temporarily. Problem is, we've got to kick out Belledu to do it. I don't think we can, because isn't he technically an important one as well? We'd have to really piss off our very good spy master. Unless he dies in an unfortunate accident. Well, we need him to positively like us. If he positively likes us, we can do it. Or he could just die of an accident without us trying to do anything. And she, with an excellent hat. That is an excellent, nice basket. A gift should actually do this. Oh, how do you like us minus 39 now? Oh. At least the bishop likes us again. Oh, come on! Fuck my life. You should like this. Fuck you with your silly hair. Oh, we did get Master Shipbuilders for 45 years though, that's nice. Yeah, we're trying to smash the patriarchy. Help us. Like, why won't you help us smash the patriarchy? God damn it. Help us smash the patriarchy. She's been conditioned not to. This is the problem. She should want to help us smash the patriarchy and she doesn't. Outrageous.